Okay, so I'm experimenting with an all new camera and everything, so we'll see how this goes. But I wanted to show you guys what we're starting with. So this is the closet, and inside I ended up putting this shelf that we removed from a different part of the house, and my plan was to eventually put my yarn here. But right now it's just kind of become a catch-all. There's some knitting supplies, and yep, don't even know. There's so it just kind of became a catch-all. And then if you look over here, this is just a quilt that is a family heirloom that I eventually need to get framed up. But this is my knitting and how it's stored. So you could see why I'm like, this isn't going to work for me. And then up on this shelf, I have all of my notions. Up above that is just some spare blankets, some spare towels, and over here I've just got some other art supplies and notebooks and things like that. So there it is. Now let's get going through the yarn. Here we go. Hi there, I'm Jessica, also known as Aikika Dragon, and this is episode 19 of Fiber Dragon. Welcome, and it's good to be here. Today I am doing something a little bit different. We are going through my stash. My plan today is I just pulled everything out of the closet that had yarn in it, and then we're going to go through it, see what's there, and then I'll eventually, fingers crossed, hopefully log it all into Ravelry. And then work on my stash down. So, I have already started my stash down before recording this because it's something that I have been aware of and working on since actually before, gosh, I think it was maybe October is when I really decided I wasn't going to buy any more yarn and work on my stash. I did actually, because one of you, Nancy, I believe, said that someone else was also doing a stash down, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I started watching some YouTube videos, knitting YouTube videos, which I had fallen off of recently. And I realized actually a lot of people are doing it right now, which I find really interesting. I don't know if it's just because it's the beginning of the year or if it's just a shift in mindset that's happening, but it's kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie. So, like I said, I don't judge anyone else's stashes. I do like to see, however, the yarn that we buy being used in something rather than sitting on a shelf. That's just me personally, no judgment to anyone else. So along that note, let's dive into my stash. Oh wait, that's what a different YouTuber uses. Don't say that. Let's get to the good stuff. Okay. So the first thing is actually here on my desk. Uh-oh. So my camera right now is balanced on pillows in a box. I'm very fancy and technical. All right, so the first thing, I actually pulled this from my stash earlier this week. And if you've actually been here, seen my YouTube before, you might know what this is. So I've pulled this out. It was sitting on my desk. It's the only yarn that's on my desk. I have some notions and things like that. So this used to be my birthday socks. And then I got in a car accident. I had made this one. I got in the golf cart accident and lost the yarn. So then I had to go buy some more, which I was really excited about, but I was not in the mental space while I was still wearing the brace to finish these socks. So we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of when the accident happened, so I figured now is a good time as any. So this was the original yarn, and this, I'm going to have to go through faster than this if we're going to get through this in any amount of time. And this is the new yarn. They are very close, and part of me wants to, even though they don't quite match up in color because they're hand dyed, I think I want to make them slightly mismatched and keep them just because of the significance emotionally of them. But then I'll use these probably to make a whole nother set of socks just because I want some that don't have that emotional connection in them, because sometimes you don't want that. So anyway, that's what's on my desk. I will be bringing this out and giving more information about it in a regular video. But that is yarn that I am going through that was part of my stash that I pulled. Okay, the next thing I have that's somewhat organized was last October, whenever it was that I bought this yarn in the fall, I had decided I wanted to make a Christmas sweater, and of course it was going to be done by Christmas. No, it was not done by Christmas. I had gotten this far and I was loving it. Gosh, that neckline is huge. I had realized the neckline was huge. That's going to be something, so I might need to change that. But I also realized I had not gone up a needle size for the color work, and I started to get really worried that it was no longer going to fit. Although I'm looking at this now, I think that was just in my head. This thing is huge. Anyway, now I was going to rip it back and start over, but now I don't know if I should. So I'm going to have to spend some time with this and look at this. So anyway, the yarn I've gotten here is some of this. I'm going to have to find names for all of this to log it into Ravelry. Big Twist Twinkle. I think they're both Big Twist Twinkle. I'll have to find the white. Big Twist Twinkle. Metallic fiber, acrylic. Let's see. The color of this one is teal, so I'm hoping the other one's white. But I will find those and log those into Ravelry. But this is a project. I actually do want this. I'll tell you all about the pattern when I start working on it again. But I actually do want this sweater for Christmas. Like, I think it would look really nice and sparkly and fun, and can be worn outside of that season a little bit as well, because I'm kind of a sparkly person. I like the sparkles. Sorry for my fancy dress this morning. It is freezing here, like really, really cold, and so I had to put on the good old sweatshirt today. All right, what else have we got that's easy? In this bag, the only thing I have in here is some spare cotton yarn in yellow. This will probably just end up being a scrap. So I'm going to put this with some scraps, because that's not really enough to do much of anything, I don't think. That's about what my scrap ball sizes have been. So, I mean, I could put it in. I'm just going to put it into the scrap blanket. So this one is going into the scrap blanket, whatever it may be. It has notions in it, but it's an empty bag. Okay, so here is the actual cotton yarns that I have. I've got an olive green. How many of these do I have? I've got, oh, just maybe the one. All right, one olive green. And these are all the same Yarn Bees fundamental cotton. Ooh, how do I get this to focus? I'm gonna have to mess with that. Anyway, Yarn Bees fundamental cotton. This one is coffee. I don't know what the olive color is. I'll have to look. I've got some more yellow. Ooh, look at this tangle that's starting. I hate it. I've got some purple. It's just purple. It's all the same stuff. I've got more of the brown, of the coffee, sorry. I have quite a bit. I've got an ivory and a white. And then I've got some bits and bobs. From, you know, oh, and I've got a little bit of red as well. So these were originally purchased to make like cloth, like to make cloth, come on, like washcloth type items, which I do still want to make, but they are not a priority at all. So what I also have found is this cotton yarn is great for placing stitches on hold. like for sleeves and things like that. It's amazing because it doesn't get tangled up in the softer woolen fibers, and it's pretty sturdy. So I do always want to keep at least a little bit of this around, and I've been using the olive because I just don't like this color very much. I had gotten it for plant leaves for a different project, like I made these sunflower coasters, and they were great for the leaves, but I don't like them just in general. So now they just sit there. So I will probably keep that around just to use for stitch placeholders. All right, so I've got several of those in this bag. What am I going to do with all this cotton? I do want to make some more of those washcloth things. I like it when they have, I can't remember what they're called right now off the top of my head, but it's like that embossment of a picture on it. I made a few as gifts with palm trees on them, which was a lot of fun. But I also want to make things, you know, where it just says, like I could use the brown and make it say coffee, and then it can be used as a coffee rag and things like that. So that's on the list, but a super low priority, which is also a bummer because it's not my favorite yarn, and then it just sits in the closet taking up space. So maybe I'll bump it up a little bit. That'd be a lot of washcloths though. Okay, so here is the rest of that sparkle yarn. There's two in here of the big twist twinkle. There has to be some more teal somewhere, right? Did I just buy one skein of teal? I was going for a white sweater. Who knows where my mind was, because now I'd be going for a teal sweater with some white. Interesting. So apparently I was going for a white sweater with some teal. So there's that. But there's two skeins of this in here. So there's that. Okay, this is where it's going to get really messy. All right, so what's in this? And here is my amigurumi cotton. I do still want to make some dragons. And I almost bought some more amigurumi because I was like, ooh, I would love that color dragon. Or I was going to buy some gray and make a gargoyle. No, use what I have first, then move on. So I still have, I thought I had another one, so I'm going to have to look for it. The red, it's so interesting. I don't know if these have colors on them, but it's kind of like a really dark teal. There's got to be a better name for that, but I can't think of it right now. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I just can't. It's a dark teal. That's coming across pretty true, actually. And then there's this like light green, almost aqua, that I haven't even opened. Come on now. Oh, I should have a light purple somewhere too, because that's what my original dragon was made out of. So I will find that eventually, I guess. So this is my amigurumi. I do want to make another dragon. That is on the list. Again, I've just been putting it off because I keep being, oh, shiny new things, shiny new projects, and then not doing the projects that were shiny and new to me not that long ago. I definitely want to make some more dragons. I mean, I am a fiber dragon after all. All right, here we go. Okay, so in here are mostly my hand-dyed yarns. There's a random, I don't know what this is. Sorry for the crinkling. There's a random gray. This is really soft. I don't even remember what this is from. Oh, yes, I do. I made a baby blanket out of this. So this, I don't really have anything for, and it is quite a bit of yarn. I think I kept it because it's a neutral. I was like, oh, I can use that in something. But when I have a project in mind, I don't tend to go for my stash because I try not to keep much in my stash. This is the most I've had in a while. So this may just end up in the blanket, in the scrap blanket. That's an awful lot though. So this may end up, I'll start searching and seeing if there's a scrap project for it to go in. So this is a maybe, I don't know. Hand-dyed yarn, this needs to be made into socks, some more socks that will get worn. This is all from that series. I have enough to make whole nother sets of socks. I did find I can make a whole nother, because I tend to make, they're not technically shorty socks, but they're close. They're like not regular length socks, not shorties, they're kind of in between. Ankle socks, that's what I like to wear. So I can actually make like a regular length sock still out of this yarn. I have 3 of those still left. I've got the gray wolf, the mantis, shrimp, and the red black mamba or something. No, red-bellied snake. I also have, this yarn will not go away. I have made so many projects out of these. I've made socks. I've made 2 sets of socks. I've made a Musselburgh hat. It will not go away. This is some magical yarn. It just doesn't go away. So that's, actually this one looks like it might be the Poison Dart Frog socks, the red. So that's not even the orange, but the yellow is, this is the orange I was thinking of in one of the little yarn cozies that I made. I would like to use these yarn cozies again. That's something I do need to make, is some more yarn cozies, because I lost I lost my large one in the accident and I need a couple more. So I'll make some more yarn cozies. That's a good project for some of these scraps. Probably not the super soft yarn. That doesn't seem like that would be conducive. So these all need to get made into socks, which are kind of turning into my favorite thing to make right now. So I may run out of the sock yarn faster than anything else, but we'll see when I get into colors that, you know, just the black gray where I'm not as interested. We'll see if I'm as excited. But what I do have in here still is the hand-dyed Knit and Pearls pansies. I don't know how to make this focus. I'll work on that later. I cannot wait to make socks out of these. Now, I don't want to save this for very last after I get through my entire stash, but I do want to wait a little bit and get through some of it before I reward myself with this one, because it'll be a brand new skein and I will be so excited to get into it. But it is a good spring one. So we'll see. We'll see how fast I go. I don't anticipate this being a super fast process. Look at this honking thing. So this was originally my, okay, I can't have more yarn than this bag. And then it started spreading out. It'd be like, oh, well, but there's yarn in my project bag, so it's fine. And then it's like, but I want my hand-dyed stuff in another bag. So that's what happened with this. This was my original, it can't flow out of this container bag. And of course yarn is squishy, so like the more I would put in, the more it would squish down. I don't even know how to go through all of this with you. So what I'm going to do, I guess, is I'm going to toss it all out into this chair beside me as I go through it with you. And then as I log it into Ravelry, I will toss it all back into the bag. So what we have here, we have some more Malabrigo machete, the Celio e Terra or something like that. Terra is Celio. This is a whole skein on top of the skein that I'm using to make a Musselburgh. So I bought way too much of this for a scarf. Way too much. So I have a whole skein of this. Gonna have to think of a whole nother project. What have we got here? So I went on a I need some neutrals kick so that I can just go into my stash and grab some. So some people in the knitting group that I go to sometimes had brought in some yarn, and there were some neutrals, and you know, it was free. And I was like, well, I'm taking it. Well, that was not a good idea. I should not be taking yarn that I do not have a plan for. So I've got some Red Heart Soft color. What color is this? Off-white. I think these match. And they're like hooked on, yeah, I think these match. So I have some off-white. It is a great neutral. I think I was thinking, oh, I'll use this in the Battenberg blanket that I've now abandoned. That was kind of what I was thinking. But so now I have to think of something else. This is also something that I got from the knitting group. Someone had started this cute little baby blanket in crochet in pinks and grays. But well, it's like a coral pink, and I loved the coral. and ended up grabbing it and was like, well, the gray is attached, I'll take it. I should have taken all the gray and coral, finished up the blanket, and sent it on its way, but I did not. So now I have a mishmash, not much gray, a lot of coral, and I need to figure out, I guess I'll just rip out this blanket. How sad, because they had done a really nice job. It's pretty cute. They knotted it there, which isn't my favorite, but that's okay. So I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with this now. This is what my stash is now. I have to figure out what to do with this. Look, here's more of that soft gray. Oh, this is what I made my skirt out of. So that's way too much for the scrap blanket. I need to figure out something like this. Here's just some black yarn. Had an amigurumi tag in it, but it's not, because this is not that cotton, so I don't know. Just some black yarn. All right, I had bought this thinking I really wanted a tweed sweater, and I figured I would do it like in some color work. What was I thinking? I didn't buy enough of this for anything. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, so now I've got some Deluxe DK Tweed Superwash. In porcelain. I mean, it's pretty. I like it, but I don't know what I was thinking. I really don't know. Let's see. I've got some Sunshine Coast Superwash Merino and Bamboo blend. So my mother-in-law gave me this. It's the Gold Coast colorway. She gets like, I think it's monthly, no, quarterly subscription to some yarn, and they send it to her and she makes something with it or not. And if she has leftover, sometimes she gives it to me. I had expressed I really like these colors, the teals and corals and grays. Those are kind of my colors. So she gave this to me when she was done, but I don't have a project for it, and I don't know what to do with it. Superwash Merino and Bamboo. See, this is going to be a thing where I'm going to be going on Ravelry and just looking up the yarn to see what people have done with so many of these things. Okay, maybe I'll make one of those wheels that everybody's been doing lately. I've seen on a lot of video games that I've been watching, where they spin the wheel and whatever it lands on. Oh, they've been doing that on FlossTube too. Spin the wheel, whatever it lands on, that's what you use and you make something with. Maybe that'll get me going on it. So this is gingerbread. I fell in love with this color. Fell in love. This was in the baby blanket, and I love this color. It's like it's gingerbread. That's the best way to describe it. A brownie pink. Sometimes it comes across more pink, sometimes it comes across more brown. I fell in love with it. Don't have enough to do much with it anymore because I put most of it in the blanket, but I have some left. Here's just some random white. Don't remember what I had put this into. Ultra Wool Chunky Superwash Wool. What else have we got here? Oh, so much more of this. I don't even know. I don't even know. But there's more of it, so I'll have to combine that all and see. Here's, ooh, I forgot about these. I can put this just in that sock bag. Some of the Super Socks Color 4-ply. I like these. I think they're going to be fun. They kind of knit up into their own little pattern. How do I get this to focus? What does it decide to focus on? I'm going to put this in the sock bag because that's going to be a sock. I already know that. Look! Oh my gosh, there's more. Did I make some already? What the heck? I don't even remember making that. Okay, so here's... Oh, I remember what this was. I made a shirt that's now been... It was accidentally sent through the dryer, so no longer fit me. I ended up donating it. This was the color work of a shirt that I made. Got quite a bit of that left. Just some black gray. Some more gray, Sweet Delight, Rainy Yay. This is super soft. I don't know why I have a whole skein of it. Ooh, it's soft though. That feels nice. What is the Rainy Yay? That's such a cute name. I was trying to find what this is. It's a light yarn. Rainy Yay, 4 ounces. What is the makeup? Oh, 60% acrylic, 40% polyamide. So I don't know if I'd want to put it in a baby blanket, but oh man, it's soft. So whole skein of that. Then I've got, so this was originally, my son wanted some green gloves, and this was like the best at the time when I was looking that I could find for him. I ended up not making the gloves, and here we are, just with a random skein of green. What am I gonna make with this? Oh boy. 75% wool, 25% nylon. I could make him some socks out of this, because I don't know if I want to make the fingers. If he had asked for mittens, I would have done it in a hot second. I just don't know if I want to make some gloves. Maybe I'll make him some socks. Into the sock bin it goes. I found the purple amigurumi. We will put that with the others because that's where that's going to go. Do I remember where it is? Yes, I do. Okay. Here we go. We're getting close to the end. I don't know if you know, but I really like teal. So I have this teal that I actually made in a gift blanket, and have had ever since. Need to do something with that. I have this teal, which was part of that shirt that I made. Obviously bought way too much since I have an entire skein. I was worried about running out, but obviously I didn't need to. So I have an entire skein of this. This is also Malabrigo Machita, and this is teal feather. I don't know what this is. There may be a label in there, but I don't know. I've got some red cotton that ages ago I made a gift for an anniversary. For my anniversary. I'm just going to put this in the cotton. I don't know if it's the same. It's definitely not the same, but I don't know if it's the same, like, thickness. Weight, as they say. It looks thinner. It looks slightly thinner. But I'm going to put it in there. We'll see what happens. It's more likely to get made into something there. I guess I could make, actually, like a washcloth type thing. Here's the last of the skein that my mother-in-law had opened that I was telling you about from her quarterly club or whatever it is. At least it'll all be organized and together. Okay, here we are. We're getting down to the last of it. Here's more of that yellow of the yarn that never ends. This is enough though. I'm going to put this in the scrap blanket. That's going into scraps. Along with this little nugget. Look at, but see, then my brain goes, if you add it all together though, because I know there was some more over there, if you add it all together, it could be something. But do I want to? Oh my gosh, getting into this made me sneeze. Do I want to? Or do I just want to put it in the scrap blanket and be done with it? I do like the bright yellow. I'm a huge fan of bright, sparkly, yeah, and teal. That's what makes me so happy. All right, here's my neutral black. That was a part of the blanket. That was part of the teal. Oh, my husband's making coffee. Sorry if you can hear that. But I have a whole extra skein. That's got to go into something. More teal, you say. What? That black and teal I can make something out of. One skein of each. That can surely be some sort of project. All right, so this was like the original first hand-dyed wool that I ever bought. It was a part of a set. And I made socks, I made a hat. The teal, the blue part of it is gone. There was a little bit of the gray left. And then there was a yellow and a green, and I think I've used up all the yellow as well, and all I have is this green. Although it's coming across as yellow, which is bizarro, because it is green. Interesting. It's kind of, it gives like lime green almost, yellow green, so it's picking up on the yellow. So I might be able to make another sock, but I don't feel like they wore very well as socks. They didn't last very well. So I gotta think. Look, here's more cotton yarn. Why was I buying all this cotton yarn? I don't even know. You're thinking this might be teal. It's close. And white. So maybe I could make a fun little dragon out of this. These all are the same size as that red that I just found. So that could actually be fun. And last but not least, this amazing yarn that looks so good in natural light and it is not coming across at all. It's called, and I fell in love with it, and I kept searching the shop hoping that, because all they had was the one skein when I found it. Well, they had more when I originally found it, and I didn't buy it. And then when I decided to buy it, they only had one left. And I wish I had bought more. So I kept searching the shop, hoping they would get more in, and they never did. So I've got one skein of this. It's like penny something, antique coin is what it's called. And it really is like a copper penny, a US penny. If you've ever seen one of those, that's the color vibes it gives off. And it in the sun is just so pretty. Kind of like that gingerbread vibes that I was really liking, that pinky brown. Anyway, I've had this and wanted to do something with it because I love it, and I've never found anything that I wanted to make with it. Because when I looked this up online, everyone had bought enough to make shirts, and I don't have enough to make a shirt. All right. I think that's everything other than my active current projects, which I think I showed you. I do have Malabrigo, Celio. I have the yarn in this bag for that. Oh, and I wound up this yarn that I finished using from my shirt. That's a little teaser, isn't it? So, but this feels like way too much for scrap yarn. So I need to find something to do with this, but it's just not, I don't know. Dang it. This is how I get paralyzed by, there's nothing in this bag. Okay, this is how I get paralyzed, is I get overwhelmed and then I just stop. And that's not what I want to do. I'm just going to pick something and go. Spin the wheel. Then I don't have to think about it and feel that paralyzing, oh, make a choice. Okay, so I'm going to log this all into Ravelry, and then I'm going to make a wheel, and then I'm going to spin it and see what it tells me to make. I do have 2 projects already going on my needles, and I don't want to overwhelm myself because, like I said, I can't knit as much as I had been. So, maybe I am getting close to one of these projects being finished, so maybe I'll finish one of these projects and then spin the wheel. Because it is going to take me some time to log this into Ravelry. So, that's my stash. That's my mess. If you want to see where we're at right now, there it is, and down on the floor. So, yeah, that's what we're working with. And I don't think I can even get through that in a year, even if I was knitting at my original pace. I don't know if I could. I don't think I can. So we're talking like a couple-year project here. That's crazy. I do know at some point, I know I said I was going to be pretty strict no buy. At some point, I am going to have to buy some yarn because, let me explain. I promised my sister that I would make her a mermaid tail blanket. and I haven't gotten around to it. And this is important to me to get done for her. And I don't want to just make it out of scraps. I'm sure she would be happy with it, but I want to make something in the colors that she loves for her. And my sister and I are polar opposites on what colors we love. She is a warm fall colors, and I am a cool blue. Just blue. So I would rather make her something that she would love. Even though I think she would appreciate it either way, I just want to make her something that's for her. So there is the caveat that I will buy yarn for that project. I'm going to try and be very aware of how much I need, so that way I don't end up with more. I'm going to be doing some research on that, and her birthday's in the fall, so hopefully I'll get that done in time. Anyway, I've got some computer logging to do, and I should probably get running. My coffee's getting cold. Thank you so much for joining me. I will update you. Gosh, I think, when do we have a game? I think we have a game tonight, and I'm pretty sure that we have a game on Friday as well. And there's the always game on Sunday. So I will make sure and put those down in the description, but I'm fairly sure that that is correct. But I'll make sure that the correct one is in the description. And I will talk more about my gaming next time, I believe, because this past week I did not get a chance to play because I had family obligations. So I don't have anything to share. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Happy crafting, happy gaming, and have a great week. Goodbye.